Hey there, Dr. Holly here from ChiroNumbers.com. Welcome to the Money Mondays series. Today I want to just introduce what we're going to be talking about in the Money Monday series, and that really has to start with your own money mindset or your own money story. Really, you want to think about this as like your familiarity with being open and honest both with yourself and with those that are close to you and that are within your family unit, or are your business partners or close associates, etc., and how you engage in conversations around money and finances. Now, for many people, these are hard conversations to have. And that's because there's a lot of shame that comes around the basic understanding of what it means to be a good financial steward of your finances. And especially if you're in business for yourself, there's a lot of pressure to succeed, right? So we have to think about all that goes into the inner workings of what happens around conversations around money. And like I said, there can be a lot of instances of shame. There can also just be a lot of confusion if this is not a topic that was brought up. I find this especially for women, especially first generation business owners for women, that they were never really taught how to be comfortable with money, how to manage money, whether it be on the household side or in a business. And so coming to that realization and really asking for help is hard for many different areas in our lives as women. But there is hope and you can get help, and money can be demystified, and you can get to a point where you can feel like you are treating your money management a little bit more objectively, while also simplifying it. Those things can be congruent within your own journey as an entrepreneur or small business owner, or even just a healthcare professional, even if you're not the owner of the business. So just wanted to share with you, some of these big topics that come up when we are just talking about finances and your own money story. Like I said, this has a lot to do with your family of origin and, your close family unit that you spend a lot of time with and you make major life decisions with. But what I find is that these conversations can become very intimate, to be very real with yourself about the reality of what your business or where your career is right now and where you want to go, and how you make the two of those marry together so that you can actually see through to the next season or era in your life. So I have a couple questions for you. Some of these major areas can kind of cause some, angst amongst a lot of the business owners or women in our profession that I talk to. So these big four concepts I have here: living paycheck to paycheck, the whole conversation around your student loans, saving for retirement, and then also realizing that you have permission to actually enjoy your life where it is right now as it stands. And it does not have to be tied to your self-worth, or your success or failure, or in between some sort of chaos of what may be happening in your professional life. Does often spill over to your personal life, but it doesn't mean that you can't find moments of joy, and make some big life decisions and feel empowered in those decisions. So kind of tracking back a little bit, looking at these categories: living paycheck to paycheck. This is a reality for many Americans right now. Whether or not they're healthcare professionals, whether or not they are small business owners, a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. In fact, that 80% has probably gone north since last time that I pulled one of these roundabout statistics. So think about it. Are you living paycheck to paycheck at home in your personal life? And are you also living sort of like maybe insurance check to insurance check, or care plan to care plan, or just, day to day in your practice? Does it feel like every single day you have to show up, or this business is not going to be afloat anymore? Do you have the freedom to take a day off if you need it, whether it be for mental health or physical health or whatever it is, or take a vacation? That's several days in a row. For a lot of people, that is a hard thing to step away from their business, depending on the age and stage of it. But some of us, may have been in this profession. We look up and realize it's been 10 years or 20 years and realize we've never really stopped to give ourselves rest or give ourselves a break. And burnout's a real thing, right? So this is one of the first things when I am taking on a client and we're looking at what is the reality of your business right now. I want to know, do you mix business and personal? Usually I find when there's a bit of a crossover that's happening in business and personal, it's because you're not actually, defining what your compensation is as the owner of the business, and you're not actually taking the cash out of the business. And so this becomes a sort of a cycle or a loop that you get caught in as far as justifying more and more expenses to happen because you're like not compensating yourself. So I would much rather a client get to a place where they can compensate themselves well and they feel empowered to make spending decisions that are distinctly for the business or distinctly should be on the personal side. And really shouldn't be a conversation or chasing a write-off or whatever it is, or you think it's more advantageous to do it in your business, but you're really just robbing the business of the cash in the meantime. Okay. Student loans, I'm not the expert on these. I've had them, I have them. I definitely have a preferred resource that I refer out to for student loan consultations. And, there are, some ways to be more effective around, given your current financial situation and what is going to be the most advantageous for you for the strategy of repayment for your student loans. And we just, again, have to get real about those numbers, see what your actual liability is at this current piece in time, and then also know, what moving forward, what trajectory or what path are you on, and how is that going to change as your circumstances change, over the next 5, 10, 20 years, as many of us will be in repayment for that long. Okay. Again, thinking about that later stage in life, thinking about retirement, I am of the mindset that you really can never start saving early enough for retirement. And again, this also goes back to that first block there. If you're in survival mode, you cannot see the forest for the trees. You cannot even fathom setting money aside for your future when you feel like you're struggling right now. And I very much appreciate that and see that situation happening with many business owners inside and outside of our profession. But that means we have to get serious and we have to get real about your day-to-day spending and seeing how it's manifesting and impacting your future self. Okay, so we have to, again, draw that line in the sand and we have to start somewhere, even if it's with a very, very, very small percentage of your revenue or of your income, or just a flat dollar amount that you are paying for your future. Okay. And then again, circling back on that whole enjoying life, I have had many conversations with people who have put off, starting a family for years, or have put off buying a home for years in hopes that some piece of their life just seems to click into place. And honestly, that's just not how things happen. Sure, we can be as prepared as we want to be, but we should definitely know, in years past, that we really can't predict what the economy is going to do, what the world is going to do, what any other outside forces are going to happen. So we just need to get your goals in sight and make sure that we're crystal clear on them and we're controlling the things that we can control. And we know that we're working towards them with intention. And we'll get there. It's all about small steps. We're not, this isn't going to be an overnight process, but it's going to be a shift in the mindset of how you realize what your value is to the world, what the value that you bring to your communities and to your patients, and how we can turn that around to, further fulfill you so that you do stay in this profession, do stay in business year over year sustainably, continuing to make that impact. So I hope this is a great start to our Money Monday series. Thanks to the few of you who sent me in questions and good places to start and topics to have conversations around.